Hello YouTube. So today we're going to do a little something different here. I'm going to show you a couple e-bikes that I had promised you a few days ago. These are 16-inch wheel bikes. One is a Nakto Skylark, which is this white bike right here. And to the right of it is a Qualisports Nemo, 16-inch. There's differences between these bikes, even though they're both the same size wheel. And we're going to go into a little bit of that. Okay, so let's start with this Skylark. This bike, you can buy it on the Nakto website. You can also buy it on Amazon. It's, I believe it's about $650, 250 watt motor. Nakto has a warehouse in California. You can also buy parts online. That's one of the advantages of Nakto. You can buy many of the parts online right from their website. Sometimes they do run out of stock, such as batteries, especially right now while there's a chip shortage, but generally you can get the parts you need and all that. Okay, so let's take a little look at this bike. One of the first things that I like about it is you can see the front wheel. These are cast wheels. These aren't the spokes like you'd have here on this one. You can see on the Nemo, it has a traditional spoke. The thing I like about the cast is you're never going to have to tighten anything. Eventually spokes get out of true. The wheel's going to have to be trued. You're going to have to tighten them every so often. If you don't, you're going to get broken spokes. You still may get broken spokes. And then, you know, if you start getting 2, 3, 4 broken spokes, everything goes downhill from there. So I like the no maintenance of the alloy wheel. It looks nice, and it's just a good, easy thing as far as maintenance. Okay, so these are folding bikes, and you can see right here. I'm not going to take it all apart because most of you that have looked at e-bikes, you know how folding bikes work. They all have latches. Here's a latch here in the center. You can see right on the top. You flip that, it opens. Quick release here on the handlebars. Seat, quick release, all that. So it's just a matter of unlatching it and folding it. The seat, very comfortable. And the back here, you lift the seat up. There's a little latch, you lift the seat up, and here's the battery over here. It has a little handle that you can lift it up. It uses a key, as you can see, that locks the battery in. So, you know, you park the bike someplace, nobody's going to steal it. You also use the key to turn on the bike. Let's see. Okay, so here's the control panel. Now, it's a very simple control panel. It's just green, yellow, and red, depending on how much power you have. You have a pedal assist, and you have a full twist throttle. So, brakes are disc in the front, and then there's an expansion brake in the rear. I'm not really too big on the expansion brakes because it might be more difficult to replace. Most bikes just use either disc brakes on front and rear. Front is disc brakes. One negative, it has a shorter crank arm. You don't have the full-size crank arm. In fairness, these are meant for shorter people, probably like 5'9", 5'10". You know, is probably the max you really want to go. Though you could ride it. There are people. I'm tall. I still ride it. I did change the pedals. That's something a lot of people do. These pedals don't come with it. The pedals on it are small. I believe it's just made for the Asian market. So they're smaller pedals, not very expensive to replace, easy to replace. This bike comes with a rack on it, built in. It's already you know, assembled when you get the bike. There's also fenders, as you can see. Those are also on the bike. It requires minimal assembly when you get it. You're gonna have to put the handlebars on it. I believe I might have had to put the pedals on it. Not sure, but that's the main thing, is to get this piece, this stalk here, lined up. That would be the most difficult thing on it. You may have to do some trial and error, but it's not really that big of a deal. So how fast do they go? These bikes probably go, you know, 15, 17. You probably get up a little faster. you really wouldn't want to go that much faster on these bikes because they're small bikes. Keep in mind, 16-inch bikes, the smaller the wheel you go, the more twitchy the steering is on it. So that's something to consider. Even on 20-inch wheels, little twitchy. It's not quite the same as a full-size wheel when you're going like a 26, 27 and above, where you go into cracks in the road or a bump in the road. The larger tire absorbs it and it kind of glides over it. You'll feel a little more twitch in the smaller wheels. Here's another nice feature on the fender. You can see it's got this mud flap too on it. Motors in the rear. It's a Chinese branded motor. All the motors are really Chinese, no matter where you get them, what kind of bike you have. China pretty much has the market on the motors, so you know, people get down on China, but there's no reason to. All these bikes really, they come out of China. They may be assembled in the US, or the manufacturer may hand pick what parts they want or have something custom made, but you know, pretty much everything comes out of China, and they do a good job. This bike is a nice bike for the price that you get, and if you're a smaller rider, it's nice. Again, I like the way it just kind of fits together nicely. They put it together very nice. You know, it rides good. I mean, I'd probably make a few changes on it, but it's not a bad bike. It's not a bad bike at all. It has everything. It also has a front headlight, as you can see. I think it was just a reflector on the back. Yeah, I don't know if you could see it too good here, but yeah, here's the reflector. It has a reflector on the back. It's not a light. I added a little light to the rear, a flashing light. So that said, I think there's some reflective on there too. So if you're driving at night, it comes in various colors. I chose the white. I believe it comes in red, yellow, and a few other colors. So here's the Qualisports Nemo. This is believe it's about $900. This is the smallest bike that Qualisports makes. They have the Nemo, which is the 16-inch, the Volador, which is a 20-inch bike with a 250. I believe it's a 250 watt. I believe could be a 350, but I think it was a 250 watt. And then you have the Dolphin, which is a 20-inch bike, more powerful, bigger battery. And then you have a fat tire 20-inch bike. So they have a selection depending what you need. This is a popular bike. Reason being, you can fit these in your car. Some people have said you can take them on planes, that they're eligible to be taken onto a plane. They sell a little knapsack that you could put this bike in. It folds up very light, very light. It's probably around 30 pounds or so. So it's a light bike. You can take this bike anywhere. Now, here's either an advantage or a disadvantage of how you look at it. This seat post isn't just a seat post. It's a battery, and it's a high quality battery. This is a Samsung battery. It's I believe it's a it's a 36 volt 7 amp. It gets you a pretty good distance. You could probably go 20 miles on this bike. It also has a throttle, just like the other bike, except this one is a thumb throttle. Okay, so disc brakes front and rear. Now the motor on this is in the front. It's not in the rear as on this Skylark. So I actually like the front motor because I believe it will be a little bit easier should you have a flat tire. It would be easier to get the wheels off, or you could fix the flat on the without taking the tire off. But I like the idea that I believe it's going to be much easier. These are the original pedals that came on it. They're folding pedals. The display is a little bit different on this. It's not a color display, but it's a digital, and it gives you all the information, your odometer, your speed, and all that. This is a high quality bike. Again, the seat is a very comfortable seat. I've driven this for a number of miles, and it's quite comfortable. It also has full-size crank arms, 170 millimeters. Kickstand, both have kickstand kickstand on this one too. Some bikes nowadays, they're making that as an option on certain bikes. One thing to notice about these bikes, these are single speed bicycles. So this is something you're going to want to use, you know, the assist. You have your levels of assist. You're probably not going to want to ride this without assist unless you're on flat ground, because it is a single speed. This isn't really something, both of these bikes are single speed. It's not really something you want to be riding uphill too much. This bike has a lot of pulling power. Now today I'm not going to show you that because I don't have the time, but we're going to go up some hills with both bikes, and I'm going to show you the differences. The Qualisport, you know, when you're pedaling, you can go up some hills that you would be huffing and puffing, and this bike can go up a hill, believe me. And again, it's got the throttle, nicely finished bike. The situation with the battery though, if you can see it, there's a connector right there underneath. You can see it's just it's like a coil, and that's the battery connection to the controller. Now, theoretically, somebody could steal this, like if they knew something about the bike. So the battery is expensive. The battery is probably $300-400. So, you know, that's something to consider. If you were to have the bike and you're going to park it someplace, you can put some type of a little chain on it to keep it secure. But keep that in mind, it does not have a lock such as you have on this bike. And most bikes have that. But now a lot of bikes, since Qualisport has been getting popular with this, not a lot, but a good number of bikes have been going with the seat post battery. And you know, I like it. But again, that's the downside, is it's not going to lock. This bike also comes with fenders. Now I don't have the fenders installed on it, but it does come with fenders. Okay, I didn't really need the fenders, and I just felt there was going to be one more thing in the way should I want to change a flat tire or something. It's just more of a nuisance to me. The wires don't go into the frame. Some are concealed on other bikes. I don't really like that, because if you've got a problem with wiring, when they're inside the frame, it makes it much more difficult to work on. So these are all tucked nicely in. It's the same on this bike. You can see the cables are all nicely placed, but they're not routed inside of the frame, which some bikes have, and I don't like that, especially so much on a folding bike. Because if you're going to actually use it as a folding bike, I think it puts a lot of stress on the cables, and if something does go wrong, then you have, you know, a little bit of an issue. So both bikes I like in their own way. If you wanted an inexpensive bike and you're a shorter person, this Skylark is a nice bike. You can get around on it fine, and it has everything on it already. You have a rack. Okay. On this bike, you can get a rack on this, but it's optional. Both have fenders, as I mentioned. You do have to install the fenders on a Qualisport. It's not a big project at all. The fenders come on the Skylark. Nakto's been around a long time. They make a whole bunch of different bikes. So they have other folding bikes, larger ones, regular electric bikes, all sorts of bikes. Qualisport, as I said, they make, I believe they had 4 models when I had this one. I don't know if they came up with another one yet, but 4 models. They're a high quality bike. It uses a MXUS motor, which is a high quality motor. Not as well known as some of the Bafang and those, but it's a high quality motor. There's another company I won't mention that rates those motors, that they use the same motor, and they rate them for about 10 years. So I believe it to be a good motor. They use quality parts. It's a different branded motor on the Nakto. As I said, it was a name I'm not familiar with. It was a Chinese branded name. That said, they're all made in the same place. So Nakto has a lot of experience with electric bikes. So I don't foresee any problems in the near future with the bike. And surprisingly, as I said, they're both very comfortable. I just like how Nakto engineered the bike. I would just make some changes, like the the crank arm, different pedals, and the seat post. If you were to put a longer seat post so that a taller person could ride this bike more comfortably. Possibly even on some of the bikes now, the handlebars, they're making them a little bit wider, so you have a little bit better control for the smaller wheeled bikes. That would also be something maybe for the future. But it's a comfortable bike, and it's got everything already on it. You know, I mean, you can start adding. You could carry a spare battery on the back rack if you wanted to. A little bit harder on this because it's incorporated into the seat post, but I believe this will last longer, and it's a Samsung, and this, again, that's as high quality. The battery pack on this is as high quality as you're going to get. So, that said, we'll be taking it for a ride, just not today, but I just wanted to show you these bikes. I've been meaning to do this for a while. Just take a little back up here and you can see it. So, those are at 16-inch wheel bikes. I'll be getting a larger one at some point here. We're getting into the winter now, you know, the late fall, and it'll be winter. So I may not do it just yet. I may see what's out there. There's a few bikes I'm looking at, full-size bikes. I may go with like a 26-inch wheel, something for longer distances. Or there's even dual motor bikes, all sorts of things. I like these. These also have, as I said, a throttle on it, which that helps you get going in tight situations from a start, especially if you're on a hill and you need to get going. Even if you pedal with it, the throttle will take off. So I like that idea. Then they fold up real nice. The Nakto Skylark is a little bit heavier than the Nemo, but both, you know, light bikes. So around 30, little over 30 pounds for this Nemo. I chose the red. It came in a few different colors, but nice looking bike, well made. So we'll take it on a ride next chance I get, and maybe sometime next week. So if you have any questions, drop me a line. Hope you continue to watch, share the video, subscribe, like, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.